Hi, welcome to this simple resist technique tutorial. Today I'll be using the penny black stamp Gratitude, the All You Need stamp to create this card. To begin, I'm taking some gloss coated card and a Spellbinders Labels 1. I want to create an embossed effect, so I take my Cuttlebug machine and use the A and B cutting plate. I then place on a tan embossing mat from Spellbinders, my card, then the die, making sure that I've lined it up so it's central to the front of the card. And then I'm going to place the other B plate on top. To make sure I get a good impression, I'm using a shim as well. I then run this through my machine to create the embossed effect. It will not actually cut through the card by using the embossing mat, as you can see here. I'm now going to create a mask with post-it notes. This time I'm going to use a slightly smaller Labels 1 die so that it fits inside the embossed area. I'm going to use my A plate, my B cutting plate, the actual post-it note, then I'm going to place my die on top and then the C plate so that it actually cuts through the post-it note. I then discard the middle and use the outer edge as my template. I place this over my card to create my mask. Make sure that it is lined up so that the embossed area is outside of the masked area. I'm then going to take my All You Need cling stamp and I'm going to ink it with Versamark ink. I'm then going to stamp repeatedly into the area that isn't masked. Once you have done this, you need to allow it to dry before going on to the next step. You can speed the process up by using a heat gun. I want a blush pink colour now, so I'm going to use 3 types of Memento ink. Firstly, I'm going to start with the Angel Pink Memento ink. I'm going to ink up my brayer. I use a flicking motion. This makes the ink go all the way round the brayer and gives it an even coating. I'm then going to run it over the top of the masked area several times. This will then give me a very pale pink outline. This is only the first stage and you will barely be able to see the image underneath. You can see here it's very pale. Next I'm going to take Cantaloupe ink and I'm going to ink up my brayer again using the flicking motion that I described before. Again, I'm going to go over the masked area several times until I've got even coverage. If the ink pools in any areas, you can wipe off the excess with a bit of tissue. This is more likely if you're using a cheaper cardstock. You can just about see the image beginning to show through now, but it is still very faint. And finally, I'm going to use Ladybug to give it that more pinky feel. Again, using the flicking motion to ink up the brayer. Applying liberally over the masked area again. And using the tissue to wipe off excess ink. Here you can see the image is now really beginning to pop through the ink. And by using all 3 colours, I've managed to get that blush pink effect. Now I want to add a sentiment from the Gratitude set. So I'm going to use Stays On Timber Brown ink because it is gloss card that I'm working with. I'm going to ink up my stamp. and then place the sentiment in the top left corner. Finally, I'm going to replace the mask again, and I'm going to add some petals with a darker tone. So again, I'm using my Timber Brown StazOn and All You Need Cling Stamp. And repeat stamp along the bottom as before with the Versamark. Once I am happy with the image, I then remove the mask and my card is completed. Here is a list of the materials used. Please pause the video if you would like to leave it on here longer. Thank you for watching. For more inspiration, please visit my blog at candronicocardcraft.blogspot.co.uk.